Anytime you talk video with somebody who is thinking about getting started and buying their first camera, they just won't shut up about GoPros. Hi, I'm John Tendy. Thank you for watching. Here are some of the things that they will say. Hey, what are you using, a GoPro? Well, my cousin does video and he says I should get a GoPro. Or, you should try the GoPro. I hear they're really good. Okay, listen, a GoPro is a terrible choice for a first camera indoors. Now, let me explain. It's a great camera, it's a great piece of gear, and it performs beautifully when used as designed. It's an action cam, which means it's designed to sit on your football helmet, or on your dirt bike, or on your backpack. Are we seeing a pattern here? Outdoors, where there is an abundance of what? Light. And this is why they're best used in auto mode, because when they're mounted on the top of your head, you really can't reach up and reset the white balance. Good camera? Yes. Good first camera for live streaming? No. Now let's talk about a few misunderstood keywords, starting with low light. How does that camera perform in low light? Or, oh, this is a great low light camera. Or I'm not impressed with that camera's low light performance. Often we base these facts on YouTube or Facebook videos. Well, like the one you're watching right now. Anytime someone tests a camera in low light for a YouTube video, and there are dozens, probably a couple of hundred, they pick up the camera, they go outside at night, onto the street in Manhattan, near Times Square, where there are what? Lights. A lot of lights. Lights everywhere. Street lights, neon signs, headlights, tail lights. On 4th of July, let's add some fireworks. That's not low light. In fact, that's a well-lit movie set with high contrast. The bright lights and the nice pretty black sky in between, it looks beautiful. And then there are people that pull out the camera at Yankee Stadium and think that's good low light performance because it's 10 p.m. Do you want to know what low light is for a camera? Sitting in your kitchen during the day. It seems like it's well lit. Maybe it is, but there is less contrast. There is no clarity from object to object. It becomes compromised. Depth of field. This camera has better depth of field than that camera. Or how is the depth of field on that camera? It's actually the lens that allows you to experiment with depth of field. It's the aperture, aka iris, aka f-stop. The iris is the actual mechanism that opens and closes. The aperture is the size of the opening, and the f-stop is the ratio of the focal length to the aperture diameter. All you really need to understand, though, is f-stop, and that the smaller the value of f-stop, the wider the opening. Now, that doesn't seem to make sense. Why would this be? Because f-stop is not a measurement. It's a ratio. Now, you've known about this since you were a kid, but you just never really thought about it. Remember when you go outside and you'd play with your magnifying glass in the sun? You move it closer and further to concentrate the light to a very small area. There's your focal length to aperture ratio from the sun to the lens, and then from the lens to the sensor. That's your focus. Although when we were little, it wasn't a sensor. It was a poor little ant. Not me, of course. I never did that. So generally put, the bigger the iris opening, the more blurred the background is, giving the subject a sharper appearance. Now, it's not actually sharper, but the contrast between the sharp and the blur is what makes the subject pop. A close-up of a singer can be a very tough shot if the singer is rocking back and forth. So with video, unless it's a controlled, staged environment, in other words, all your positions are taped to the floor with X's, you're going to need a smaller iris for a more forgiving focus, which means you're going to need more what? Light. Now look at all those old black and white TV shows. Remember how everything was in focus? And Jackie Gleason was running all over the stage. Why? Because the aperture was tight, and the difference was made up with more light. Sometimes blinding light. Now, most kit lenses are their widest at f3.5. A lot of people think that's not enough. I am telling you that's more than enough on a well-lit set. In fact, you'll probably get better results at f7 or smaller. So keep those things in mind when you're shopping for your first versatile camera and how it's going to be used. Don't overspend. You don't need as much as you initially fear you might. And with good light, a semi-pro camera will perform better than a very expensive camera with bad light. For more videos and tech info, check out Tendy Media on Facebook. Also check out That Jazz Show on Facebook as well. There are a lot of jazz videos and live streams right from this studio. I'm John Tendy. Thank you for watching.